Welcome in, friends. Another Thursday. Clean air is good. Times like this. Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Dirty air. Just a tad bit better. Rodney Rodriguez joining you on your Thursday. Hope you have had a good week. Lots to do this evening as we dive in. John Boland going to join us here shortly. We'll talk about the great season that he has had. Man, what a great season it has been for the two car. So we'll talk to John, and then a little bit later we'll get an update. Obviously, this past weekend, the season finale over at Mobile International Speedway, and it looked like a really good night there for everyone involved there. Congratulations to them on getting that season wrapped up as they fired back off over there at that half-mile beauty. So, but right around the area is Sunny South Speedway, and they've still got some stuff to do this year. So we're going to actually talk to Connor Okrezik. That's going to join us and kind of get us talking through the rest of the schedule. We'll also talk to Connor about what he may be doing the rest of the year. Before we get into any of that stuff, obviously, I want to pass on, just thoughts for everyone that may have been affected here with the hurricane coming through. That some the pictures that I was watching, via the Weather Channel and so forth. It's man, that just looks like a horrible situation, and of course that never a good thing. Never a good thing there. So lots of prayers lifting up people there, and just hopefully that's something that everybody's going to be able to get through, and just kind of stay strong there and reach out, Dirty Air Race Show, Racing America, whatever. If there's anything that we can do to help, and of course we're streaming live on YouTube as well. You can message there. As always, the show presented by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet in Brandon, Mississippi. I am actually heading to Jackson. I will be leaving Saturday morning, heading over to the All-American 60. I'll talk about that coming up a little bit later in the program. Huge 604 crate late model race. The 604, the 602, the crate engines, they have them if you need them. Best price that you're going to find in the country. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. They do present the show as they always do, Dirty Air, along with our friends at Advance Auto Parts and CarQuest that have been with me from the get-go. But I do also want to touch before we dive into guests and talking about what's coming up and so forth. I do kind of want to reflect and give a big thanks to my man Phil Whipple. I think you guys have probably heard him on here. This past month was really exciting for me to really help deliver so much of the 50th annual Oxford 250. Just a massive event right there, and really cool to be an integral part of getting to deliver some of that content there and everything that was building up. And a lot of that was Phil's work that he was doing, whether it be compiling guests for this show, jumping on here himself. We actually did a live show on Sunday where we dove in and did a pre-race there and kind of the prelude into the Oxford 250. I know there was some weather and all of that, but I mean, that's one of those things where you have to kind of have that plan in place of what's going to happen in situations like that. But the Oxford 250 did not disappoint once again. They finally get that thing going. And here's, let me tell you guys, the crappiest part of all of this thing. Cole Butcher winning again. That's not the crappiest part. But so here where I'm at in Texas. So we're in extreme heat and talking about extremes right there when it comes to weather. So we have these things here in Texas called rolling blackouts, and what they're trying to do around here, ERCOT, that is our energy. I'm not really even sure what they do. I don't really think they know what they do, but they do these things called rolling blackouts. I don't know if this happens in other parts of the country where you guys may be checking in for this, but it'll just they just kill your power. I mean, they turn your power off. They're telling you to conserve power throughout the day and so forth, but they'll shut your shit off. And so I'm sitting here, and we've got 45 laps to go in the Oxford 250, and I've watched this whole thing all day long. Lights been flickering, all these different things happening. Boom, rolling blackout. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab my computer. I'm going to grab my laptop. I'm going to fire up Racing America there and try to get, well, you know what? Wi-Fi. That runs on electricity too, for crying out loud. So nothing doing there. So after a lot of pouting, After a lot of pouting and a lot of back and forth, I remembered, you know what? I guarantee you, in one of my gear bags, I have a hotspot that I use for remote broadcast that I think will probably get me hooked back up to watch the Oxford 250. I turn the son of a gun on, boom, link up to Racing America, Cole Butcher in victory lane. I missed the whole finish. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rolling Blackouts. Thank you, Extreme Heat. Thank you, ERCOT. Thank you, everyone involved for costing me the Oxford 250 finish. But so that's my Oxford 250 story. A really good race. Really good race up to the point that I was watching it. But at that point, when it was all said and done, that was all she wrote. So that is all that I got to see. So that's pretty much my Oxford 250 story. And it has a very sad ending, but it was Cole Butcher that won that race. So that's 2 for 2 right there for him. So a great drive for him. And he takes care of that and does it once again. So all of that cool stuff right there this past weekend with the Oxford 250. All right, you guys stick around. Coming up, I'm going to hook up with my man, John Bolin, on a roll. We'll talk with him coming up later. Talking to Connor O'Kresick, Sunny South Speedway. Clean air is good. Times like this. Dirty air, a tad bit better. More coming up.
Whether it's trucks, muscle cars, or miles per gallon. At CarQuest, we do it all.
Die Hard. Good choice.
Only one I trust.
Imagine if everything had the reliability, durability, power of Die Hard. Die Hards choose Die Hard, and they get it at Advance Auto Parts.
Ed Vance here, and I'm at my favorite place again.
Sorry, did you say your name is Ed Vance?
That's me.
Like advance?
Crazy, right? And it just so happens he knows everything in advance.
Oh, you know the future? Did you know I needed 10W30?
No. I just know everything here in Advance Auto Parts, like where the 10W30 is.
So you don't know what I'll do next?
Actually, I do. You will be going to the oil aisle.
He's good.
He's Ed Vance.
I spent a lot of time here.
He's here a lot.
This is how we advance.
Dirty Air live on your Thursday. Welcome back in. Rodney Rodriguez, all of you guys checking in. As we, I tell you, I am almost forgetting. Sure, a lot of people are fired up. First Thursday of college football. I guess we've got Florida playing tonight, so I'm sure that we will have some heated discussions here, and I think things are probably going to get even more fun for me with you guys when my Texas Longhorns head to the SEC. That's supposed to be next year, so I'm sure the rivalries and so forth will only get better. And how about next week we do Texas and Alabama? So I think my Alabama friends and I are probably going to have to come up with some cool stuff there as we move forward with all of that. So working on John Bolin again, doing this live. So having a little bit of problem there connecting. So hopefully we're going to be able to get John on, and if not, we will certainly just move forward and just continue rolling on. I do want to talk about what I was mentioning here a little bit earlier on the program, where Rogers Dab Chevrolet, GM Performance, it's a huge event coming up at Jackson Motor Speedway coming up, the All-American 60 for crate late models, the crate 604 late models, and it's the 12th annual event that's going to be coming up there at Jackson, and that is going to be it's going to be super exciting to be a part of that, and it's $6,000 to win. So actually everything starting this evening kind of rolls into qualifiers and so forth, and B mains and all of that. That'll roll in Friday into Saturday. So all of that's going to be happening, but just a super huge event that's going to be going on there at Jackson. I was a little concerned as the week was kind of starting to progress there that, with the weather and so forth, but it looks like everything is good there. I talked to my man Benny over at Rogers Dabs today, and everything is good. Things are looking good at Jackson. If you're in the Mississippi area, if you are there around Rogers Dabs, there's going to be a great raffle that's going to be happening over the weekend. You could actually win. You could win a crate engine, as a shotgun as well. 55-inch, big screen TVs. I mean, there's so many cool things, and this is for a young kid that's been going through a really hard time. And this is where Rogers Dabs. I mean, so much of what they do. This is one of a longtime employee there with Rogers Dabs Chevrolet, and they have dove into this, and all of that is for this young guy and his family. Really cool stuff, really cool opportunities. If you're coming out to Jackson on Saturday, you can be a part of that, or if you can get over to Rogers Dabs Chevrolet, they're in Brandon, Mississippi, which is a stone's throw away, which this is cool for me because I get to learn Mississippi. I've learned Alabama, I've learned Florida, but here we go now. It's going to be Mississippi this weekend. So it's going to be a really cool time. The race is actually going to be over on Flow. You can catch that on Flow. So hopefully you'll tune in, and really expecting a huge field for the 12th annual Rogers Dabs Chevrolet All-American 60 for the 604 crate late models. A little different change of pace, I was actually talking to somebody during the week that said, hey, man, you're doing some dirt different. I'm like, man, I'm in Texas. I do a lot of dirt. I do a lot of dirt in Texas. So really excited to be a part of that with my friends at Rogers Dabs Chevrolet and GM Performance. Also, speaking of Texas Dirt, huge one that's going to be coming up. So kind of as I'm having trouble here connecting with John, what I'm going to do is kind of pull up my trophy dash, kind of push that forward a little bit. We've got a good one coming up at Rocket Raceway Park, which is in Petty. That's up in the North Texas area. The 9th annual Brian Mize Memorial. The USRA, the United States Racing Association Limited Modifieds, are going to be racing there at Rocket Raceway Park. $9,000 on the line. $9,000 on the line there at Rocket Raceway Park. My man Kevin Sesteri, he was actually on the Texas show, on the Revved Up show that you can catch at RevvedUpSportsShow.com, and also at RPM Multimedia on the YouTube page that you may be checking this out on. Looking for a really strong field that's expected there in the USRA Limited Modifieds. That's a huge class here in the Texas area, just along Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana. So looking for a huge car count in that one. And you start throwing $9,000 around, and that's a ton of money for a USRA Limited modified race, and that'll be this weekend at Rocket Raceway Park. You can dive in on Facebook and check out Rocket Raceway Park and get additional information there. That one will actually be streamed live at Race on Texas. So you can check that one there. At one more shot there at John. I don't think we're going to be able to connect with him, so that's okay. The other one that I want to talk about, you've got the huge one a huge one. You've got Wiscasset, and you'll be able to catch this on Racing America. You've got the Boss Hog 150, 41 cars already in the hopper for this. So 41 cars strong that are going to be a part of the Boss Hog 150. And let me tell you something. If you got anything called Boss Hog, that's got to be something pretty cool, because that's got the old Dukes of Hazzard flair to it. So super cool and super exciting with that. NASCAR playoffs are firing off as well. I know that I don't touch on that a lot of times on here, but you had all the excitement this past weekend that was racing at Daytona. That final race heading into the playoffs. It is media day. You got media day today, and you got media day tomorrow. That's happening there as the NASCAR playoffs really beginning to kick in. And there's I mean, who's the favorite? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I think the bigger guess right now, or the bigger bet right now, if you were actually going to do something like that, is who are going to be the first four out. I mean, that really seems to be more of the conversation as to who, as to what's going to happen in the playoffs. I mean, William Byron's been exceptionally good, but I got to go in and Joey Logano continues he's doing it once again, to where he's floating under the radar right here, and this may be an opportunity here for I mean, just think about this, and it. I know there's a lot of detractors. I know there's a lot of folks that may not like Joey Logano, but if you really think about this is an opportunity for him to win his third championship. And it's a different era these days, to where, so many guys win championships. I mean, you think about Kevin Harvick. This is his final ride that he's going to be, final season in Cup. Well, he's only got a championship. He only has one championship. I mean, you've got a lot of these guys. Kyle Busch has been able to get in and win another championship. It's been a good season for him now that he's gone over to RCR. He's definitely a contender. But this is a situation, even with Ford not being maybe as good as they have been in the past, this is another situation to where Joey Logano is just kind of sitting there lurking, and Logano has kind of gone to the oh shucks thing, to where he just sits and waits, and Denny Hamlin sitting in a situation to where he needs to solidify. He doesn't need to solidify his legacy, is what I was going to say, that he needs to solidify his legacy. He's going to be a Hall of Fame driver. There is absolutely no doubt about this. But the one missing piece in the puzzle for Joey Logano is he doesn't have that championship. And there's a lot of guys that don't have that championship. I mean, you go back and you look, you look at Mark Martin. I mean, Mark Martin, one of the greatest race car drivers that you've ever watched on the racetrack. And a lot of that for me is because I watched him on short tracks before he ever did anything with NASCAR Cup racing or anything like that. But he doesn't have the championship. I mean, it's the much sought after championship. So that's kind of the question here for Hamlin. Is it going to be the time that he goes and gets that? But I got to tell you, I mean, he's got two cars. He's got two cars in these playoffs as well as a team owner with 2311. So to me, there's distractions there. There's the business side. There's going to be a lot that is there for Denny Hamlin that's going to maybe take a little bit of his attention away. I saw him today. I was doing a teleconference thing, a Zoom, where he talked about, well, he's perfectly happy for his two cars to finish third, but I don't know. Pick a favorite. I mean, you guys pick a favorite. I don't really know, as we dive into these playoffs, NASCAR playoffs, who's going to be the one that you really hang your hat on and that you think is going to be the one, a clear-cut favorite, as they head out of as I like to say, the hole shot. I don't know who's going to get the hole shot. I mean, these first three races coming up, I mean, there's folks that, I don't know. You got to get out of the first round. That's going to be the first thing. And here's the whole thing to where it becomes very much a team effort. And you guys know this. Same thing with short track racing. This is when I talk about a team effort, one blip, one screw up here on pit road, one mistake, something like that, and boom, your playoffs could be done. So anyway, that fires off this week, and we'll get all of that rolling as we begin to fire off into the NASCAR playoffs. And I was also talking to someone else during the week, and they're like, "Well, you know, the racing season's about over." Well, I got to tell you, it is kind of coming to a head somewhat, so to speak, whether it be on short track or cup or whatever the case may be, as we start getting into fall. But I get extremely excited this time of year because this is when we go to this is big race season. This is when we go to big race season, whether it be your local short track, whether it be a series, dirt, asphalt, whatever. I mean, you got the All-American, the 400. You've got the Derby. You've got all of these things that are coming up. So to me, yeah, we're starting to wind down 2023, but at the same time, man, this is the best time of year because this is when the shit gets real, and this is when the big race action starts. So super cool stuff. That's my trophy dash. That's my little NASCAR filler that we have for you. Stick around. Gonna talk some sunny South as we dive into the Alabama racing scene. Connor O'Krezik's gonna join us. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air a tad bit better. You guys do not go anywhere.
If sending your firstborn off to college brings a tear to your eye, but only because she's taking the convertible with her, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. If you've ever heard last call at an auto parts store, then CarQuest is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. For all your steering and suspension needs, install Moog Parts, the choice of professional technicians. CarQuest is serious auto parts. Visit CarQuest.com.
Ooh, call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you.
You saved at the pump?
Yeah, I saved at the pump.
The pump?
The pump.
He saved at the pump!
Woo! Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advanced Auto Parts. Learn more at advancedautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
Dirty Air Live on your Thursday. Welcome in, friends. First weekend. Hey, Labor Day weekend coming up. 3-day weekend. Hopefully, some of you. As I always say, people ask me, what do you do for Labor Day, Rodney? I'm like, I work. I work on Labor Day, friends, is what I do. And I know many of you guys are going to be doing that as well. And I know many of you are going to be at a short track this weekend, hopefully joining me at the folks that may be out in the Mississippi area. Maybe come on out and check out the All-American 60 happening there at Jackson Motor Speedway. Once again, the show presented by Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance, 604s, 602s. The crate engines, best price that you're going to find in the country. And they will hook you up. There's a QR code right there where you can get a hold of my man Ryan. You can actually message me on Facebook, and I can hook you up and get you in the right direction and get you set up. It is Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet GM Performance. They will get you set up if you're looking for one of those crates. All right, let's dive in. First time heading to the Advanced Auto Parts CarQuest hotline tonight as we dive in. Talked about the season finale happening over at Mobile. However, racing continues in that area, and we are excited to welcome back to Dirty Air. It is our friend Connor O'Krezik going to talk some sunny South. Connor, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for diving in and being a part of the program here this evening. So, but before we talk Sunny South, I'll pull the dates and all that, and we can kind of dive into that. What do you have in store here as we kind of start to? I was talking about that a while ago. We start to trim the season down, but man, this is big race time. So this is kind of cool stuff here.
Oh, absolutely. I took a little bit of a break from racing kind of towards the end of last year and all of this year, but we do have some stuff in the works, some plans, and we should be back racing very soon, back and better than ever, hopefully.
Oh man, absolutely. That'll be great to have you back in doing this again. Just kind of talk about that part, man. I talked to so many drivers. This is it's really hard to be doing this at a very competitive level right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with the way things have gone, I mean, it's gotten a lot more expensive to run a late model lately.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're still here. We're still going to try to do it and take the fight to these big boys with NASCAR budgets here very shortly.
I love it, and it just keeps getting better. It seems like. I tell you, I think this money grows on trees. So let's talk about Sunny South. So we've talked prior. Just kind of dig into that right there. I just love what you all do there. It's the place for the folks to really get out there, learn the craft, hone the craft, and just get out and have a good time.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the first race is September 16th, where there'll be the Tiny Mites at intermission. Again, I mean, that was a lot of fun. Sunny South is, a family-friendly track compared to a lot of the places around. I mean, no alcohol sales. It's really a family-catered environment. We do what we can for the kids, for the future of racing. I mean, it all starts at Sunny South at 4 years old, and then these kids grow up to be the next Kyle Busch, Grant Enfinger, Kyle Larson. But it all starts there. And that September 16th race with the Tiny Mites, that will be where we kick things back off again. And the little Tiny Mites are pretty cool. We even have drivers younger than 4. I think they're about 2 years old. It's little electric go-karts, just little Tykes go-karts, and we go run them on the front straightaway. And I saw them race last week, and they seemed to have a lot of fun, and it was a really fun little event to watch.
Yeah. Connor, isn't that the nice thing about it? I mean, especially yourself, the different things that you've done when you get in and you have a situation like this with Sunny South where you dial this thing back and you get down to basics. I mean, you get down to getting the youngster started, and like you said, that no alcohol sales and so forth. I mean, you really dial this back to what really makes this sport genuine. It's just a very good feeling to be a part of something like this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a different environment from the late model racing. It's not so, everybody's not so stressed out. The drivers are relaxed. I mean, better in some ways, because you can go talk to any of the drivers there, and I'm sure they'll sit down for 5 minutes and just talk to you just because they can. And definitely a different level, and it's just a lot more stress-free and a lot more what racing should be. It's pure racing and none of the drama usually. And I mean, we do what we can to keep it fun, family-friendly, and affordable for everybody.
Yeah. And how about like the families? I mean, because obviously when you have youngsters like this, I mean, you get to see the families working together, and you get to see all of that. How gratifying for you guys to see that and to be a part of that. And like you said, you guys are grooming the next Conor O'Kresick, the next Kyle Busch, the next great stars. Got to be really cool for you guys.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, not everybody is going to be the next Kyle Busch or the next Kyle Larson or such, but it is a lot of fun to see all these little kids come out and have fun with their family, have fun with their friends, go have a good time. I mean, some people, it's just basically an after school activity, kind of like football is. They just get in their race cars instead of put on their football helmets.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a lot of fun to see, and it's great watching the kids have a good time at the racetrack. I mean, week in and week out.
And that's a great point that you mentioned right there, because we all, growing up, if you're going to be a race car driver, you want to be the next whoever. I mean, I wanted to be Darrell Waltrip or whoever, showing my age once again. But isn't that the thing where in a situation like this, they're learning life lessons? I mean, not only do they get to race and do all the cool things and be a part of all of this, they're learning things in sports that are going to take them in life down the road that are much more important.
Oh, absolutely. And as I grew up as a kid racing every single weekend, and I've definitely brought over some of those values from the racetrack into my everyday life. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, the racetrack. I mean, you hate some guys, you love some guys, and you don't meet some people. But I mean, it's at the end of the day, everyone's family.
Yeah.
And that's what we love about the racetrack, and that's why we've been doing it for as long as we have, and we'll continue doing it for as long as we possibly can.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Lastly, I mean, for you guys, just all the different things, all the cool stuff that you've been a privy to be able to be a part of. You still get to keep, or you guys still continue to do this. Guys, do you guys realize that I mean, this is a service. I mean, you guys are servants. What you're doing here, man, this has got to be so damn cool for you guys to just be able to continue to provide this for folks to get out there, have a good time, and have it in the best way possible.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we love about it. I mean, it is a business in some sense. I mean, there is obviously money involved with it.
Of course.
But I mean, we don't do it to make ourselves rich. We do it because we love it, and we love it. We've always loved it. We've always had racing in our family, and I mean, the easiest way to become a billionaire owning a racetrack or the easiest way to become a millionaire owning a racetrack is to start out as a billionaire. So, we just do it for the kids, for them to have a race, or for them to be able to race, have a place to grow up, have a place to have fun. I mean, I hate seeing the state of the world with all the kids and everything happening, but if they're at the racetrack, they're not out on the streets, I guess.
Yep.
And that's always a really good thing. And I think that's helped a lot of kids and a lot of families, even in ways that we don't know or realize.
No, I totally agree. I think this sport is one that it really the values. I mean, a lot of really good values. It can teach you some bad habits, but at the same time, I think it's more proactive with the values. Connor, how can folks dive in here to help you guys? I've got the dates up there: September 16th, the 30th, and you got October 7th and the 21st. Folks want to be a part of this, and I highly recommend, if folks are checking this out, whether it be on live or on a rebroadcast, how can folks really dive in here and help you guys and help grow these kiddos?
I mean, at the end of the day, we have to get people to the racetrack. That's the best way to grow things. And we're located at 11380 Highway 90 in Grand Bay. If anybody does want to come out, we do have that fan and driver appreciation on October 7th, which basically will bring all the drivers out to the front stretch, and then everybody from the stands gets to come down onto the front stretch and meet the drivers, talk to the drivers. We really, the more people we can get out to the racetrack, the more potential future racers that we have. And I think just as a sport, we need to find ways to get these kids out to the racetrack and get their moms and dads to to spend a night at the racetrack, and maybe they'll fall in love with it like all of us did.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. That is a great point. I do kind of want to go back to the super late model thing. You kind of mentioned there with these budgets and so forth. Now you've got two different organizations kind of going back and forth right there. How do we cap this? Because it's putting great drivers like you on the sideline, and I'm sorry, the only way I can say it, that shit really pisses me off.
Oh, I mean, I share a lot of the same sentiments. I mean, I don't know how to make racing more affordable.
Yeah.
I think when the NASCAR teams start coming into late models and they have their pay drivers with kids spending, I mean, I've kids spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per, not per season, but per race to run some of these cars. I mean, I think we just need to. I think some of that needs to stop and be controlled. And I don't know if the payouts need to go up for late models, or we need to look into how we need to get more sponsors. But I mean, I think that late models in general, I mean, they're just getting too expensive, and I don't know how they're going to be able to control it. I think NASCAR is doing some good things. They're moving in the right direction by the way it seems, to try to introduce some of these programs to get some of the less fortunate drivers into racing, but still almost no one has a shot without some kind of money or backing, realistically.
Yep. That's the stone cold truth right there, man. No way around that. No way around that. Connor, man, this has been great. Looking forward, wishing you guys all the best with the dates coming up at Sunny South. Reach out anytime. I'd love to help you guys as much as possible to get you in front of people. Man, keep up the great work, and look forward to seeing you, my friend, back on the racetrack here very soon.
I look forward to being back on the racetrack. I mean, thank you guys for all of your help, and hopefully we can see some more racers at all the racetracks around the country here soon.
There you go. You got it, man. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
You bet. There he is, Connor Okrezik. And I think one of the things that I really want to take away from that, and I've had this discussion with a lot of people in the past, and again, here are those dates once again there where Connor was discussing with us. A lot of it is with streaming and so forth. It really is a hell of a lot easier to be a part of this. But the other thing, like he's talking about there, especially in a situation there with Sunny South, I mean, this isn't Winchester. This isn't Five Flags Speedway. This isn't Knoxville. It's not one of those. What this is, it's a homegrown family-based racetrack that is doing all that it can to get the next batch of racers on the racetrack. And I've talked to a lot of people where I have the discussion where it's like, we need to get the next batch of racers in. Well, here's the other thing, guys. We need to get the next batch of tech guys. We need to get the next batch of track workers. We need to get the next batch of promoters, for crying out loud. We need to get the next batch of, even what I do, announcers. At some point, we're all going to be gone. And we've got to get people that are going to be taking the mantle and taking this sport and running with it. And that's where you get places like Sunny South. Think about that. With the kiddos there at Sunny South, let's say, young kid, 6, 7 years old, whatever, gets out there and races and enjoying it and doing whatever. But he's like, wait a minute, maybe I want to be a racetrack promoter. Well, hell, that's the people that are going to carry our sport forward. And that's what we need to be thinking about. That's what we need to be thinking about, in my humble opinion, because this sport is ever evolving. You look at football. Football ain't never going to stop. There's always going to be people wanting to be a part of that. Baseball's not going to stop. Volleyball's not going to stop. Soccer's not going to stop. Man, growing them. Sunny South, the place to be. Check them out. Sunny South Speedway. Man, that, and I'm going to pull that up again. That's a beautiful thing about Sunny South Raceway. I'm sorry. Sunny South Raceway on Facebook. Check them out. Cool stuff. All right, you guys, hang around. Going to put this one in the can, get you ready for college football. My goodness, how about that? That's coming up. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air just a tad bit better. I'm Rodney. You guys stick around. More coming up. Dirty Air doing it live on your Thirsty Thursday. Big thanks to Connor O'Kresick, big part of the program. Talking Sunny South Raceway, all the cool stuff. I keep saying Speedway, just doing that stuff out of habit. Man, sure love that concept right there. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way, as the one lady used to say in that very old, not really old, I was a kid, in that one tune. The other event that I left off of when I was talking earlier about the cool stuff coming up, don't forget, you got the Boone Super Nationals that are happening right now as well. And I was looking this morning. I was diving in this morning as I was kind of preparing for this program. 1,022 entries as of this morning for the Boone Super Nationals. And that just kind of gives you an idea of how massive that that event is. And I get to, as I was talking about earlier with doing dirt track stuff here around this area, that with IMCA stock cars and modifieds and so forth, where folks are actually going out and they're qualifying for national points where they want to get to Boone, and they go out and they run that. But I mean, just think about that. That's a good problem to have when we're talking about keeping the sport to grow the sport. When we're talking about 1022 entries, guys, that's a hell of a lot of people. that's a heck of a lot of entries that are going to be over at Boone, and that is what's going on, and that madness will begin to start itself off. Hell, it's going now, and as I said, we're into big race season. Dirty Air, I'll take you all the way to the end of the year. We'll go probably all the way past maybe the week after the Derby. We'll continue to do Dirty Air here on Racing America. Schedules kind of float around a little bit. Don't exactly know what I'll do on Dirty Air for Derby, because I'll actually be, as I mentioned last week, I'll actually be working there at the Derby this year with the announce team and so forth. So there's going to be different things that are going to be going on there. So we'll kind of keep you posted on all that. But we've got some strong months that are coming up. I really want to hone in. We've got some big races that'll be coming up in Texas. I really want to do all that I can here on Dirty Air, on Racing America, on RPM Multimedia, that are going to put those Texas races in front of people, because we've got races in Texas and Arkansas and Louisiana that are really, really huge. They don't get the exposure that they deserve, and it's going to be my job to put them in front of all of you guys that check in nationally, so you can realize the cool stuff that we have down here. It really seems like, more often than not, it kind of goes unheard of that those races that were just kind of whatever. But we've got some good ones. I'll put those in front of you as we continue to roll on. Once again, Cole Butcher, the winner there at the Oxford 250. Thanks to my man Phil Whipple. Phil Whipple got the old. What do they talk about at the flu that you get when you go over to Oklahoma? I think Phil Whipple got a hold of that, because feeling a little under the weather after all the work that he did right there. But I tell you, with all the work that Phil did for the Oxford 250 that entire month, that we covered extremely well right here on Dirty Air, he kind of went under the weather. So thinking about my man Phil. Hopefully he's going to be feeling better. Wiscasset Speedway, Boss Hog 150, 41 cars are signed up for that. Again, you can catch that on Racing America. That's going to be a really cool race there. Come on, guys. Boss Hog 150. And they even spell it like Sorrel Book used to portray that character. Boss Hog. Come on, man. Does it get any better than that? That's going to be at Wiscasset. And the other one that I talked about at Rocket Raceway Park in Petty, Texas. Go get a hold of that. That's on Race on Texas. 9th annual Brian Mize Memorial for the USRA Limited Modifieds. $9,000 to win. Really cool. Not cool, but that right there, Brian Mize, very much affiliated with the track operator, Kevin Sestera, that I talked about earlier. Those two were a good team, and unfortunately, Brian Mize no longer with us. But that's Sestera and Rocket's way, and Kevin Rogers. That's their way to pay homage to him and really honor Brian Mize there. Again, I will be in the air Saturday morning, heading to Jackson Motor Speedway, heading to Jackson, Mississippi. Very excited to be a part with my friends, Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. We will head out for the All-American 60 Crate Late models on the racetrack there at Jackson. Man, $6,000 to the winner. It's a pretty good payday. When we start talking about big paydays on dirt, that's pretty good. And I remind you, 602s, 604s, GM Performance, Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. Hit that QR code that you see on your screen, or message me on Facebook, on the Instagram, on the Twitter, whatever it is. I will hook you up, and I will get you the best deal. They will get you the best deal that you're going to find on a GM crate engine if you are needing those, and lots of other things that they can hook you up with as well. And they are the title sponsor of Dirty Air right here each and every Thursday. All right, friends, thank you for being part of this program. I know some of you wanted John Bolin. We'll get him figured out. We will get him hooked up on here. Connor O'Kresick, man, I just love that conversation right there. I just love hearing that passion in his voice, talking about what they do at Sunny South Raceway. Man, taking care of those kiddos, putting those kiddos in front of people. Get out for that meet and greet thing. I think that's going to be cool. Those are always great when you get those youngsters out there. Guys, have a great race weekend. If you're doing college football, enjoy that as well. Come see me in Jackson. I look forward to shaking your hand if I get the opportunity to do that with you. Back here next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Doing it live as we always do right here on Racing America and on Facebook. Find a short track, guys. Get out there. Support them. Secondary, if you can't find a racetrack, find a streamer. But go to a track first. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air, tad bit better. You guys have a great weekend.